Welcome to ATB TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Shona Drechsler.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Howdy.
We're at Ballarat and we're standing on the new deck of the owners room, a new initiative here at Ballarat, a big deck outside the owners room and also outside the committee room overlooking the mounting yard on this fine day at Ballarat. Before we get on to today's runners at Ballarat, let's go back a bit, Shona, and have a look at the runners. I think we go all the way back to Donald.
Donald on Friday. Yeah, we had host me. She placed 5th.
Yeah, nice run to run 5th. She was never in the race to the last 400th or even 200, and I think we walked away there pretty happy, and she's just got back me next start, I think, written on her.
So up to 1600 then. No doubt Weary will step her up in distance again and she'll be cherry ripe.
No, she's a really good honest mare and she's going particularly well.
Yeah, we had Schnitzel Rose to finish 7th.
Yeah, disappointing run with Schnitzel Rose, and as a result of that, we've spoken to all the owners and we've decided to move her on, so she's been sold to Queensland.
Yep, that's correct. No doubt she's going to appreciate some sunshine on her back.
Well, she can appreciate being somewhere else.
And then we went to Caulfield on Saturday with the Caulfield Cup, and we had Seismos, and he finished 15th, although he was only beaten by 5 lengths.
Yeah, it was a farcical run race. Look, he couldn't lead, the pace was too good. We wanted to lead if we could because we knew they'd stack him up and run slow. They actually ran 7 seconds outside the record. He's a big stride and free going horse. Craig tried to get him to the lead but just couldn't do it, and he was boxed away for most of the race pulling, and he did go for him, but they sprinted really quickly over the last 600 and he just plodded to the line, and Craig got off. He was pretty upbeat about his run. He said he's a genuine Melbourne Cup horse, a big strider, and look, I wouldn't care what price he is for the Melbourne Cup. If he draws okay and he can get plenty of room and striding, he'll run all day. He'll run the 3200 out, half and one. And I think you'll find Seismos is going to be in the finish of the Melbourne Cup. He's probably a little bit in the line of Jacklebury, where he came out and he did nothing in the Caulfield Cup and ran 3rd in the Melbourne Cup. Whereas Dandino's a special horse, you know, he could run Caulfield Cup and Melbourne Cup. They don't come along very often. And if Seismos comes back next year, I don't think I'd run him in the Caulfield Cup. I think I'd either go for the Herbert Power, or I might even go for the Geelong Cup where he gets a lot more room and it's a less pressure race, because I think he's a real Flemington horse.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was down at Werribee this morning and he's a happy horse. As soon as he got unsaddled and had his roll, he was straight into the feed bin.
Well, see, that's amazing, because over in the UK he wasn't a great doer.
Yeah.
But
well,
since
when he first got here, he would just have his roll and then stand in the corner and just, you know, relax. But he's into his feed and he's real happy.
No, he's happy and he's pulled up well, and Craig knew it's upbeat, so we just got to wait another 2 weeks.
Yep, that damn barrier. Say your prayers now, I reckon.
Don't want to be talking about barriers.
No, we don't. And we had Firehouse Rock, who put in a really good run and finished 3rd.
Yeah, Firehouse Rock ran super. I hope you all backed him, had something on the place at $9 or $13, whatever you got. So he goes on to the Derby, and he's a genuine Derby chance. I know there's a bit of conjecture after the race whether Nick went a bit early or not. But look, I don't mind if a jockey rolls the dice and has a crack. I'd rather him do that than do nothing. I think the horse really showed a big turn of foot, and that really surprised Nick. And I think he's pretty confident now going into the Derby that he'll ride the horse a bit quieter and let him go bang at the 300, and hopefully we can run in the top 3.
That'd be nice. Sunday we had Tayo resumed at Seymour and he finished 7th.
Yeah, went up to Seymour. That was a very strong race. First up 1300.
It was a hot field.
Yeah, the quarterback won. He was odds on, and he's probably a Group 3 horse, and ran pretty well. There's all sorts of people here at Ballarat, you know. You just get some strange
monkeys
cats.
pop up everywhere.
But the quarterback won well. Tayu was on his back, but just couldn't sprint when he went. He was only beaten a few lengths, and I'm sure, you know, next start over a little bit further, you know, he's ready to win.
Yep. And we went to the other side of Victoria at Warrnambool, where we had La Passe. She finished 1st.
Yeah, she wanted her debut. Congratulations to all the owners for being so patient. Street Sense filly. Had a Pirouette, who was a very good mare. Went to Warrnambool, won her first start. Darren was fairly confident about her chances, and she won by 3 lengths. Did a little bit wrong, but she's a promising horse, and you know, it's taken a long time because she went shinsore and she just went off a feed, and we just had to be patient. And I think that's what you have to do with some of these horses. You just have to let the trainer tell you when they're ready to race, and then you'll get the best results. So 1 start, 1 win for La Passe.
Yep.
And we look forward to her next start in a couple of weeks.
And just touching on Street Sense, we've actually got a Street Sense Mrs. Kravitz colt, and you sent me through some photos yesterday, and boy, is he grown into a nice horse.
He's a cracker. If you haven't had a look at him, he's on our website now for sale. Street Sense out of Mrs. Kravitz, the same mare as hosts me. That family's just genuine runners. Everything out of that mare runs. And the Street Sense as well, I've said, they're nice horses. But this is an individually outstanding colt. So he's a 2-year-old. We'll parade him at our Christmas party. I'm sure he'll get sold. But if you want to get in and get a share in a nice colt, please go and have a look at that Street Sense colt.
And it's interesting also to note that Darley have mentioned to us now that they think that the Street Sense is a later breed and they're better mature.
That's what they said. They said that probably in Australia they pushed them too hard too early, and which is something we don't do. But particularly being out of that mare, I think he'll be a nice 3-year-old, this colt. And he's already 2, so I think he'll probably debut either as a late 2-year-old or be set for the spring next year.
Yeah. And we also had Martha's Moment. She debuted and she finished 8th.
Yeah, she was in the same race as La Paz, so she needed that run. There was no other race, so we had to put her in the same race. Not something we'd like to do. But Darren said at the start that she'd need the run. She's still doing a lot wrong. She's a year younger than La Paz, and she's bred to run 1600. So we've kicked her off at Warrnambool. She travelled okay, and she'll be better for the run. And I'd say run 3 or 4 in. That'll be her time to win.
Yeah. And yesterday on the Geelong Cup Day, we had Esprit de Sol finish 10th.
Yeah, he finished 10th. He was beaten 6.6. That was a pretty hot field. That was a Derby trial. He was on trial for the Derby. He got well beaten. And I think what we learned coming out of that was that the horse had blinkers on for the first time. And he settled beautifully early, but as soon as they jammed the brakes on it, after they'd gone 600, he started to pull, and he couldn't stop him pulling, and he said if I stayed there, he would have ran last.
Yeah.
So he chose to go around them and go to the front. The problem with that was he did it up the hill, so he's tired, plus he kept pulling, and he was always going to drop out late. But all in all, I think he's a nice horse. He's probably still 6 months away, so I think a race like the South Australian Derby might suit.
And internationally, we had Collini on the Saturday night, and he finished 2nd on an all-weather track.
Yeah, that's his best run since we've had him. He was 2nd last, and he whipped around into the home straight and took off and got in front, only to be run down at the last few strides by a Godolphin horse that gave him 7 kilos in weight, which is massive. But Marco was very excited about that, so that's Collini's best run. We do have him in the sale over there on Monday, and now there's a big dilemma whether we sell him or not. So Marco might be just getting this horse back to his best.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all the runners.
Believe it or not, that's it.
So where do we go now? Ballarat today.
Yeah, that's it. We're off to Ballarat, and first up we've got My Obsession, the first starter for a 4-year-old. She'll be in the yard shortly. Another 4-year-old mare, another light-framed long row filly. She's taken a long time to get to the track. Every time we worked her up, she'd stop eating, but as she matured and got better, we've sorted that out, and we give her a strong each-way chance today. Yep. And Flying Paris with Craig Williams.
Race 3, Flying Paris, Craig Williams on board, 3rd run up. Look, I really think she can win, and a win today, we'll see her run at Flemington on Cup Day.
Yep.
By the time everyone sees this, there's going to be one run anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'll put up the results. Happy Highway.
Happy Highway runs in race 5 here today. Forget she went round at the Valley. Hopefully we'll see the real Happy Highway today. She's got a big weight, but we're claiming with Aaron Mitchell, a jockey I've never heard of.
No.
But anyway,
Major Mitchell's son.
It'll be interesting to see how he goes. But look, she's an each way chance, and when she's right, that mare, she's got good ability.
Yep. Tomorrow night we're off to the Manikato Stakes, the Group 1 with Platelet.
Yeah, drawn 12 against the best sprinters that we can have in Australia at the moment. Shame to draw 12, but I suppose at the end of the day, you've got to take your chance in these big races, and Platelet deserves to run in the Manikato. Probably hard to get another Manikato runner in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's $1 million race. I would have liked to have drawn 5, but we've got 12. So, the speed will go forward. Lankan Rupee from 9 will go forward. I think we'll be back in probably the back half. Yeah. And she'll run her usual honest race and be hitting line strong. Whether she can run in the placings is debatable.
Yep. And the next day, Saturday, the Cox Plate, the $3 million race where we've got guest of honour. Yeah,
he's drawn 10. I'm not worried about the barrier for him.
Yeah.
The cleaner's drawn 14. He'll cart straight across and go to the front. Craig Williams has got a plan. He's a big horse. He needs plenty of room. And I'm sure he'll just be sitting somewhere in midfield on the outside, hopefully only 1 off the fence, not 3.
Yeah.
And he's at least 10 kilos lighter than he was first up. He's a lot harder, fitter. His work's been terrific. He's eaten up. And I think at that price, you have to have something to place on him. Personally, I didn't think he was ridden that well at Caulfield and the Toorak. He was last on the corner, made up 9 lengths in the straight to get beat 3.5. He's 100 to 1. He's 21 bucks to place now. If he had been in the right spot at Caulfield and finished 4th, he'd be a 12 to 1 chance in this field. It's going to be very hard to beat Faulkner and some of these good horses, but I really see Guest of Honour can finish probably 6th or a little bit better and could sneak 3rd. I'd be delighted if that was the case.
Definitely.
He's only a young horse, only lightly raced, and he's got a big future here in Australia.
Sure has.
So good luck to everyone. A Cox Plate runner, it doesn't happen every day.
Exactly. And at Rose Hill, we've got Abasso, one of my favourites, resuming.
Yeah, we've got to remember to watch this race because we're going to be a little bit sidetracked. Mind you, the Cox Plate's at 20 to 6. It's going to be a hell of a long day, but Abasso first up for Chris Waller in Sydney. He's a genuine racehorse, this fella. I'd imagine he'll probably need the run first up because he is a bit of a good doer, but he's a high quality horse, and he's on a program to get to the Villiers. He's been a great horse so far, very competitive, and I'm sure whatever he does, he's going to run a great race and he'll be ready to win after this.
Yeah, I think Blake Shin's booked to ride him too.
Blake Shin, not one of my favourites.
Next is Morfettville Evans.
Oh yes, also on Saturday.
Yes.
We're around the country, aren't we? Look, Evans, it's great to see her in a city race, isn't it? She was at the Crossroads a few runs ago. Her last couple of runs have been great, and I'm sure Saturday Morfettville she'll run a great race. She's got to be a top 3 chance.
And next week we've got a little bit of an easy week, which is quite nice. We've got Bendigo, Tai Yo's being nominated.
No runners Sunday, no runners Monday, no runners Tuesday. Great, I'll be able to do some other work. There's some more Ballarat people there.
Told you the place is full of monkeys.
And then, Tayu Wednesday at Bendigo. So his run first up was great, as we said earlier, and I really think that going there over the further distance, form behind Trust in August, who's a model Group 1 winner, he's got a big show.
Yep. Right.
And that's it.
What else do you want to add?
Well, I suppose our best coming up for the week would be who?
Ooh.
Tough week, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tough.
I really like Evans.
Yeah.
On Saturday. I think she's a great each way chance. And I want to let you know that we will be having the Christmas party again at Manning Tree Park this year, and that's on Sunday, November 30th. We'll get some details out by email, but I think we've been overloading you with details of the spring, and we just wanted to let things slow down a bit. I guess we haven't mentioned Dan Dino. He's definitely out for the spring, and we're in the process of working with our vets at the moment to see if we can get him on some sort of rehab program for next year, 2015. And Crackerjack King, another Group 1 performer, went amiss as well the same week. It was like losing someone in the family with those horses going wrong. But look, Crackerjack's done. We'll have to find him a home at stud. But anyway, look, we're right in the middle of spring. We've still got starters in at least, hopefully, 6 Group 1 races. And hope it'd be just nice if we could pick one of them up.
Just one.
Just one will do. We're not greedy.
No.
Anyway, until next week, I'm Darren Dance, Shona Drechsler. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.